Over the last 2 weeks in Barakinladi and Rayom local government areas, citizens and residents have not slept with both eyes closed. From gunshots to killings to terrorists going from house to house, macheting people and shooting them down. And even when they go to bury their loved ones, not letting them have peace. It seems as though the peace we crave for is so deadly. The one thing the government is supposed to do for us, which is provide security to lives and properties, has become a commodity too expensive for the everyday man to buy. Good morning and welcome to Let's Talk on J101.9 FM. Today is 11th day of May 2026. And again, like we hate to do, but we have to, we'll talk about insecurity on the show today. The incessant killings in Riyom and Barakinladi local government continues to go unabated. Whether it is 7 persons killed in their homes, or people who were shot at when they went to bury their loved ones, or terrorists coming in the broad daylight, shooting sporadically and going to homes, shooting people dead. It seems as though there's no end in sight to this madness. And the more we talk, the less things are done about it. On the show today, we'll be speaking to somebody who has first-hand experience and will be telling us from his point of view what the issues are, what the problems are, and what the security operatives and the government are doing to curb these issues. I am not alone on the show this morning. I've got Chelsea with me. Chelsea, good morning.
Good morning, America. Good morning, Plateau. The insecurity in Jos has been one that has played for a really long time, since 2001 to now. A lot of people have lost their lives, a lot of people have been displaced, a lot of people are living in fear, a lot of people have been traumatized. And the biggest question is, are we doing enough? Is the government doing enough? Are security agencies doing enough? As citizens, what are we meant to do? So the recent attacks have become more bolder. Last week attack, Tuesday and Wednesday. On Tuesday, people were attacked in the dead of night. A family was killed. Imagine being at home, having dinner, having a conversation with your family, going to bed and not waking up, not because you did anything, not because you stole or not because you did anything wrong. Just all you did was stay in your house, sleep, and then gunmen comes to attack you in the dead of night. And then the next day, people were trying to be buried. The same thing, gunmen comes to attack them. Just like that. Security agencies were deployed to these places, but still, we are still seeing a recent attack that happened this week again. So the big question, are we doing enough? What more can we do? Is it talking about it enough? What are we putting in place? Most of these places have borders. Most of these places have security checkpoints. Are you telling me that people can walk into your community past this checkpoint and they will have arms in their cars and they won't be stopped, they won't be checked? It's just a lot of questions, and today we're going to answer most of these questions.
We'll answer most of this question, or at least attempt to answer them. A lot happened over the course of the weekend and yesterday in Nigeria. The newspaper's headlines, like we saw, was awash with a lot of political stories, which is kind of normal because you are getting into the political season. I think the big story for me, as it concerns politics, while we wait for our guests to join us in the studio, was the APC Rivers State Brouhaha. And it was interesting. One of the interesting part of the conversation wasn't that Fimilaye Fubara left the screening committee without smiling and without answering questions. I think it's normal. I think that one of the things I like and I also hate about Fubara is that he wears his heart on his sleeves. If he's happy, you're going to see it on his face. If he's sad, you will see it on his face. And for somebody like me who has observed the political space as long as I have, which is not a lot of time, by the way, you do not, as a politician, become easily readable from your facial expressions or your emotional reactions. And I think he does that a lot. It's not a bad thing. In the everyday world, he will be applauded for being a man that wears his heart on his sleeves. But if you're going to be a politician and one of your job is to sometimes tell stories that are often not true to people who are supposed to believe them, you need to have some level of stoicism. And I think he doesn't have it. But beyond just that, the other part of the conversation that I find interesting, and this might not have, I would say, come to the consciousness of many of us, is that this screening committee meeting was held at the Plateau State Government House in Abuja. Now, this is important because I remember in I think it was 2019 or so, I can't remember one of those days. I remember I went to the platform in Lagos where Peter Obi spoke expressively and he was talking about his frugal nature, how he did not understand how governors in his state had mansions in Abuja that they stay in. And he said, hey, if I'm going to go to Abuja, why do I need a mansion to stay in when I can just get a hotel for stay for 3 to 4 days? Because I'm a governor of Anambra State, not a governor of Abuja. So I don't need to have a house, a government house or a governor's house where I go to stay when I visit. And people thought you had just been unnecessarily frugal. And I get it. But when I saw the story, that the screening committee of the APC happened at the Plateau State Governor's house again, this is not like governor's personal house, it's the Plateau State Governor's house. Any governor of Plateau State, that is the house they go to stay when they go to Abuja. And I saw pictures of the house and boy, it was good, it was beautiful, it was magnificent. and I asked a lot of questions, and these are questions that I think that everyday Nigerian should ask. And the reason why I'm raising this issue, devoid of the Fubara and APC and screening and palaver, is when we are told every time that there isn't enough money to do what needs to be done. And things like a government house being run, again, that house would not stay idle. I imagine that to be funded. I'm going to use the words of Peter Obi. I do not know if that applies to every governor's house in Abuja. I don't know if that applies, but I imagine that it does. He said that millions of naira are used to run that house on a monthly basis, even though the governor is not there. So again, if we say that we do not have enough money to do the things we want to do, please help me understand why governors have houses in Abuja. And I know someone will say, oh, but when they go to Abuja, where do they stay? Like, come on, people. Like, am I honestly supposed to answer that question? Where do governors stay for the 3 days or 1 week they go to Abuja? If you have a lot of work in your house, you'll be going to Abuja every 2 AK market days. That was one. Secondly, the APC and its system of governance, which is a very interesting one, by the way, sort of leaves a lot to be desired. Remember, from the reports we are getting, that one of the persons that was screened by the APC is the minority leader in the House of Representatives. And common sense suggests, and how the law operates, is that if you're going to go for another political position, this time the governorship position, you're supposed to retire from your other position. You can't hold two offices together. You can't run for the House of Reps or for the governorship of a state while being a minority leader in the House of Representatives. And right now, nothing has been said, even though, let me also add here, that Mr. Chinda, who was said to have also been in that screening and who is an ally of Nyesom Wike, went for that screening. You can't go for a screening as a minority leader if you are going for the APC. Again, let me try to explain that. The APC are not the minority. So if you're a minority leader, it means you're in a minority political party. Therefore, it makes no logical sense that you are a minority leader and you're also under the APC going for its governorship position. These are some questions that we need to ask. And lastly, for me, it has to be the plummeting of infrastructural investment by states as we head off, get ready for the general election in 2027. Now, from the reports we got, 26 states out of the 36 states have already, from their submission for the first quarter of the year, have seen 58% decrease in capital infrastructure investment in this first 3 months of the year than they did last year. And I think common sense know that because we are getting ready for elections, government and government officials are stashing money away for politics. And I'm not one to be naive and to say, oh, it's a bad thing or it shouldn't happen. We know it shouldn't happen. The ideal is that funding for people, capital expenditures and money that government has budgeted and released to help to take care of the everyday persons should not be stashed away for political ambitions. That's true. However, it has become a reality for us that these things happen. But my question is, if you use 1 year of your tenure, of your 4-year tenure to prepare for your next election, you use 1 year to get used to the office, it means out of a 4-year tenure, most of our governors only work for 2 years. Again, I ask, how does this make logical sense to us as a people? That we elected people to work for us for 4 years and they work for only 2 years. Imagine you have a business and your employee is supposed to work from 8 to 5 and they only work from 8 to 12 and they go home. Are you going to tell them you've done a great job or you tell them you've not done your job enough. And I think these are some of the questions you should be asking as a people. The fact that our political office holders, and in this case the governors, are allowed to get away with almost anything. The fact that even with increased federal allocation, state governments are still owing up to, I think, about $5.8 billion in debt. These are the questions we should be asking, but for some weird reasons, I wouldn't say weird because we are dumb people. I would say weird because we have been overrun by insecurity and poverty that we can barely think beyond our noses. But for some weird reasons, we seem to have accepted the norm that our governors, who are getting more money than they should get or they were getting before, are in debt, that they are less infrastructural development than they were before, and that somehow the life of the everyday Nigerian is getting worse. I do not understand it personally, how everyday Nigerians are getting worse in terms of the economy, and there's more money to state governors. And I also know that we can easily throw our sticks at the president and say, hey, the president has made decisions with the economy that is terrible. And that can be understood. That is true. But for the governors who are getting more money than they normally would, what are they doing with it? I'm not trying to absolve the presidency of their responsibilities, but I'm asking a very important question. Can governors honestly say that with increased federal allocation every month for the last 3 years that they've done what they should do? Can they compare their success in the last 3 years to their predecessors in terms of things done and achievements made? And let me also say here that for Nigerians who think that the only definition of government success is when they build roads, I think we need to expand our minds beyond that. Every time we talk about how well the government is done, all we say is, oh, they built roads, and roads are beautiful, capital infrastructures are good, but are we also asking how much they are doing for the human development? Are we also asking how much teachers are getting paid? Are we asking how much nurses and doctors are getting paid? Are hospitals as equipped as they should? Our local government offices, are the clinics in these local government areas and communities, are they equipped? Are workers getting paid as they should? I remember the last time we had the Commissioner for Land and Survey here, and he talked about how employees of the Land and Survey Ministry are not getting paid their money's worth. When we get more money, what do we spend them on? These are questions we should be asking, and questions I'm sure would have answers to in the coming days. But we await our guests that will join us this morning on the show to talk about the recent happenings and killings in Barakin Ladi. Welcome back to Let's Talk on J101.9 FM. You can be a part of the conversation by going to our social media platforms. On Facebook is at JFM Live, and on X is at JFM Joss. Please go there, drop your thoughts and comments, and we'll do well to read them. Well, we've got somebody joining us this morning on the show. He is the youth leader of the Birom Youth Movement. He has been very vocal as regards the recent killings in Barakin Ladi, and they will be helping us make sense of what is happening, what the security operatives are doing, and what the youths and citizens of Barakin Ladi are saying about the killings. Joining us live on J101.9 FM this morning is none other than Barrister Solomon Wanti, the president of Birom Youth Molders Association. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be at JFM once again.
It's good to have you here, sir. So let's start off with this. I saw a video of you speaking early hours of this, I think I saw it this morning on somebody's status, where you talked about the numbers of people killed and how youths of Birom land have been disenfranchised and they are locally made arms taken away from them. Before we go into that, I want you to walk us back to how this started and what would you say is the root cause of the recent killings?
Good morning, listeners. It's a pleasure to be here once again on JFM to discuss the happenings in the plateau, particularly in Birom land. Before the recent happenings, as a matter of fact, which is within the public domain, 2 months ago, intelligence credibly given has it that terrorist gangs and networks have been mobilized into Plateau. And Mangu, Bokos, Berkiladi, Riom, Bassa, part of Kwampan, and other places have been targeted for a renewal of terrorism the state has been subjected to. And this information went viral, and no security agency in the state will ever deny being in the picture of that. And of course, we have to talk about the credibility and also the truthfulness of such an information. For avoidance of doubt, since none of the security agencies in the state could come out and deny or refute such an assertion or such an intelligence, it is an outright admission that indeed that intel is true. And ever since then, the state has been subjected to such of violence, attacks, and what have you. So it went on and on and on. Riomambari Kiladi, Bassa, part of Bokos, and also Mangu in the recent time have had their own share of this terrorism under the guise of Fulani militants or headsmen. A lot have been said, a lot has been done, and we'll keep voicing out the situation and what our people have been subjected to. One is that Plateau people, the native inhabitants, are the owners of the state. Even though the constitution provides that everybody has a right to live wherever he or she wants, but there must be protocol and due process to be complied with. But we see here on the plateau an increase in attacks and land grabbing and what have you. We've seen situations where in the recent times, 3 weeks ago, Riomambari Kiladi had witnessed what is called unprecedented destruction of farm crops in broad daylight and at night. One of the saddest incidents we've witnessed in Berkiladi is the destruction of farm crops in Gasa, in Inding, Lobring, and Lohala in broad daylight. And it was reported to security, particularly Sector 4. But because of the incident that occurred there where a young man was slaughtered some meters to the security checkpoint at Gasa, it resulted to people dismantling that checkpoint, that there's no essence of having it there. And ever since then, there have not been any proactive measures whenever a distress call is placed. That does not mean that we're not appreciating the effort of the security agencies. But of course, we are all Nigerians. We deserve maximum government protection.
All right, sir. There was an incident that happened, and I think that I won't say, but that was one of the incidents that drew a lot of attention to the recent killings in Barking Ladi, where people went to bury their loved ones, and they were shot at. Just in 1 second before I read what I want to read, were people killed in the process of trying to bury their loved ones after an attack?
Of course, 2 people were killed.
All right,
4 people were injured,
and 2
among
people
them,
killed.
2 died. 1 died the following day.
All right,
Then
I'm going
the
to
other
read.
died a day after.
I'm going to read an official police press release statement, and I can see this from Plateau Radio Television official Facebook handle. He says Plateau State Police Command debunks false reports of attack at burial ceremony, reaffirms security presence. Let me give you the details of this so you can help respond to that. It has come to the notice of the Plateau State Police Command that a misleading publication by a section of the media alleges that gunmen opened fire on innocent civilians during a mass burial in the state, resulting in the death of many people. The command wishes to categorically debunk this report in its entirety. At no time did the Plateau State Police Command record such an incident. The claims are grossly exaggerated, the statement said, inaccurate, and do not reflect the true situation on the ground. For the avoidance of doubt, the burial in question was conducted under strict security supervision. The Divisional Police Officer, DPO, alongside his officers and other security agencies, was physically present at the venue throughout the ceremony, ensuring adequate security coverage and the safety of all attendees. The event was carried out without any attack as falsely reported. Furthermore, the Commissioner of Police, Plateau State's Command, CP Basi Ewa, has reinforced security in the area by deploying additional personnel, including mobile policemen, as part of proactive measures to sustain peace and forestall any potential threats within the area. The command therefore urges members of the public to disregard the said publication as it is misleading and capable of inciting unnecessary panic. It also advises media organizations to uphold the ethics of journalism by verifying information from credible sources before dissemination. So again, from these statements, first off, let me ask again, were there killings when people went to bury their persons, their loved ones at Barrakin Ladi?
It's a laughable fact and incident that police, whom we have believed in even up to tomorrow, because police have demonstrated patriotism towards the happenings in the state. And I want to believe that is the reason why the Commissioner of Police, who has been very active, who has been very up and doing, deployed security personnel because of the security situations that has risen in the past 1 week. And I had expected that the spokesman of the police force will exercise some patience to actually verify from the people whether or not such an incident occurred. But of course, the DPO of Barrakin Ladi, whom we were together with, will bear witness to the fact that, one, when people gathered, expecting that those corpses will be buried in caskets that the local government was about to order for, and it did not happen, because every of our people killed are given an honorable honor, burial. But in that particular incident, while the mass grave was being dug, like about 1 feet or 3 feet or thereabout, people who were keeping watch spotted the terrorist element advancing to come and attack while the mass burial will be conducted. And surprisingly, these people were hurriedly buried. They all must know that. The people were hurriedly buried, not in caskets, as we usually do. Secondly, in a shallow grave that was being dug, as at the time those suspicious movements were observed. And immediately the information came. Police will bear us witness that women and children started running helter-skelter, leaving the place. It was only few people that gathered at the mass burial site. After hundreds of people had gathered to conduct or bid a farewell to their loved ones that were gruesomely murdered in the night. And sadly, one security personnel is being suspected to have been the mastermind of that incident.
Suspected by who?
Yes, suspected by the locals.
Because why are they suspecting?
They're suspecting because, one, he was among the 4 that were stationed in Ding Sisut to guarantee the safety of the native inhabitants. Before the attack, he was nowhere to be found, and there was no any explanation to his colleagues as to where he will be going to. During the attack, he was nowhere to be found. After the attack, he was nowhere to be found. So people suspected, and of course, nobody would have known that in that particular house where people were murdered, nobody would have known that people have left their homes and moved close to the security station, you know, so that in an event of anything, security that are close by can actually respond. Nobody would have known that in that house people usually go.
Okay.
It is only someone that has been in the community, and he has been in the community for over time. So, and even after the incident, his phone number, calls were placed, and it rang several times without him reply or picking up his call. So that one gave us every reason, every belief.
He's a police officer, yes?
He's a police officer.
One
naval officer whose name is Kabiru Umar.
Have you reported this?
I personally reported it immediately to the security heads in the state that this is what is happening. And of course, we were told the following day, shortly after the mass burial, that he has been apprehended by the security and he was in detention at the Sector 4.
Okay.
So to actually confirm that indeed he was not on ground, that even his personnel that came from the Sector 4 to the scene of the incident that night, they can also confirm what we are saying, that they placed a call on him and he didn't pick.
Okay, so I wanted to ask to clarify on security agencies.
So, but before then, you know, immediately that incident, immediately security, you know, the DPO and some other individuals left. We even went to inspect a site with a divisional police officer when the environment became, you know, very tense. And so shortly after we inspected the facility, the DPO took off to Berkeladi, and I went back to the community to still ascertain, you know, what was happening. And shortly after then, we had heavy gunshot that the attackers, you know, visited the community with. And it was as a result of that that 4 people were shot. In short, 1 was shot right in my presence.
Okay, so I wanted to clarify on security agencies. How many are they stationed? And during the mass burial, were they several deployed there to help attain the security of the whole burial?
Well, as at the time I went, my mind wasn't on whether those other 3 were still around. But of course, they were still around. And those 3, we must commend them because they were able to engage the attackers. But because this one among them, whom we are suspecting, it was the one that led the attack, you know, went and hit this particular house where his men cannot be able to. So it went very, very viral.
So sorry, so you're saying that only 3 security or 4 security agencies have been deployed to this local government? Only 4?
To that particular, you know, community. That is Nding Sisut.
Even after the crisis, there were still only 4?
No, it was after the crisis, after that attack, that the attackers came. You know, the attackers believed that the mass burial would not be hurriedly conducted. So that was the reason why they came, waiting for when the casket would be brought, so that they will unleash terror on the mourners that were there to bid farewell
to their loved ones.
So not knowing that those 7 corpses were hurriedly buried. And so the time they were expecting that they will come, you know, already the local security on ground had already spotted them. And so they went to repel them, and that was when the attack went on. But what actually baffled me and baffled us and every right-thinking Nigerian was that military personnel came to intervene in that shooting. And they came from the Fulanis angle. And we had this belief, because I was there as an eyewitness. I was expecting that since these are the attackers that came, and of course they also came to attack people at the mass burial site, they would have been neutralized. But that didn't happen. And those 4 boys were shot by the security agents that came to intervene.
So you're saying
can you confirm that the security agent? So the security agents shot those 4 boys.
So
in short, it was people that were there could witness that one.
But can we verify if they are actually security agency working with the police, the Plateau police, or they are just hoodlums that are wearing their uniform?
The gun truck that was from the site of between Lobiri Ding Sisut.
Yes.
I was right there. It was releasing gunshot right into where we were, into the community.
Hold on, let me understand
And
it.
immediately I placed a call. I placed a call and said, this is what is happening. That the gun truck is rather shooting into the community. Instead of scaring, let's even assume that these are two conflicting parties. What is expected of the security, in playing a role of neutrality, is to come in between so that you scare both sides.
Away.
Let's even assume that you are not ready to, gun down anybody. You scare the both sides. But what I witnessed with my eyes was that they were shooting right into the community where we were after the conduct of the mass burial. That was what happened.
All right.
So I immediately placed a call that this is what happened. I also called the commissioner of police. I said, sir, the situation here is very, very disturbing and is helpless. And he assured me that time that he is going to make a deployment. And so I was in that community till the time the commissioner of police brought in a deployment to the place. So there were mobile police that were brought into the community.
After that incident
Yes.
happened. I want to read out something to you. This is dated 25th of April. And it says the Plateau chapter of the Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria has petitioned Governor Caleb Mutfwang, the Department of State Services, and the Commander of Operating Enduring Peace over what it described as persistent killing and poisoning of cattle in villages in Barkinlad local governments. The petition, dated April 23rd, 2026, was signed by the state chairman Ibrahim Yusuf Babayo and made available to journalists. Babayo said the petition became necessary due to criminal activities threatening the livelihood of herders in the area. The petition is titled Urgent Complaints on Repeated Killing of Cattle. These incidents have occurred repeatedly within a very short period, specifically on the 18th, 20th, 22nd, and 23rd of April 2026 in different communities within Barkinlad local government area, indicating a dangerous pattern of coordinated attacks without any visible intervention. On April 18th, the statement said 10 cows were poisoned to death in Rakung village. On April 20th, 2026, one cow was killed in the same village by the same group. On April 22nd, 2026, 9 cattle were poisoned to death in the Lokodjora area. On the same day, one cow was poisoned along the Inding axis, while on April 23rd, another cow was again poisoned to death in the same axis. Well, these are the words of the leader of the Mieti Allah here in Plateau State. What's your response to that?
You see,
And I'm so for you, Art, I've also seen you say that these allegations are not true. That cows are not being killed by Birom youth in Barkinladi.
anyone that will say cows were killed by Birom youth, he should tell us who is that Birom youth.
But cows were
And
killed.
how did he know that they were Birom youth?
But cows were killed.
Cows were killed, whether they were killed or not. We've gotten the report that cows were poisoned. And of course, since Mieti Allah has alleged that their cows were poisoned, is it in their homes, in the bushes, or on the farmland? There have been unprecedented destruction of farm crops in the recent time. That in Jol, in Rim, in Gasa, in Rakung, and in Ding, there is no farmland that is standing now. All the dry season farmlands have been grazed upon by the Fulanis. And of course, the constitution provides that every individual has a right to self-defense. Now, the right to self-defense does not only end at safety of lives, but also your property.
So are you alleging?
I am coming.
Okay.
Safety of property. People might have adopted this strategy to have their farmlands protected against rodents, against bush animals, and what have you. And so in the process, possibly, this mischief and terrorist element that are operating under the guise of Fulani headsmen or militia have already drafted in their own program that Plateau State will witness a serious food crisis. And that is why you see they consistently and have succeeded in destroying all the farm crops. Now, you don't expect these farmers having suffered, were expecting bumper harvest. Some had even started harvesting their farmlands. And then the Fulani came in broad daylight and in midnight hours and grazed on those farmlands. Now, if somebody has applied insecticide or what have you on his farmland against insects and what have you, and you came overnight and ordinarily Mieti Allah should be arrested.
Why would you say
Mieti
that?
Allah chairman should be arrested.
Why would you say that?
Coming to argue, to assert that animals died as a result of poisoning. He should tell us where were those poisons if he is actually telling the truth.
But that's not enough to arrest him for saying those things.
Poisons or chemicals spread. Were they spread in the bush or where? And another thing we must understand that whenever I'm not even admitting that farmers went and used those chemicals on their farmland.
Okay, you're not admitting. You imagine that's what they did.
It could be. But another thing we must understand that whenever Fulanis and
the
terrorists have concluded plan to unleash terror on native inhabitants and plateau people, they will always scheme something. So we are even suspecting that they must have been the ones who went and poisoned their cows, so that
that's a stretch.
It will justify terror attack.
That's a stretch.
I'm coming
That's
to
a stretch.
I'm coming to that. Now, last year, when Bindi was attacked, shortly before Bindi, that is Irium local government, and 27 people were murdered. Before that incident, Fulani went to grace and he stabbed his cow to death and called his people.
Can you confirm? Can you confirm this? You're saying?
Of course, the security are in the picture of it.
All right, please go on.
He stabbed his cow and called his fellow Fulanis from Bangui Fulani that Birom people have killed their cow. And a farmer was close by, but he drew the attention of one of the Fulani headers. He said, "See what your fellow Fulani is doing." And it was that guy that stopped the Fulanis that, "No, I am a living witness to this man stab his cow." And that is not once, that is not twice. It had happened in several locations. So whenever Fulanis are planning to unleash terror on native inhabitants, they will scheme something, because what they might have amassed arms and ammunition that will sustain them. And immediately we heard that they have brought in bandits into the state. They have brought in their kinsmen who have fled the ongoing military operation in the northeast and the northwest into Plateau and part of the Middle Belt. We have already prepared our minds that indeed terrorism and another round of terrorism are set in.
Okay.
And that's what is happening. So it is possible. It is possible. Otherwise, now, let's ask ourselves, were farm crops alarmingly destroyed, grazed upon in all these locations? Absolutely.
Is there no arrangement between the Fulani and the farmers so that they will have a limitation to where they can actually graze with their cattle?
Those Fulanis that are into destruction of farm crops are not ordinary Fulanis. They are terrorist elements. Because one, you will see that few cows are being grazed, 50 cows with about 100 people on them, dressing in black, carrying arms, blocking every route. And whenever they come for such grazing, some of those people in black robes, you see them pinned down, waiting for late hours and strike, or anybody that passes by. Now, that is what is happening in the state. And that is what we've been witnessing. So, and Mieti Allah coming instead of it, like what happened 3 days ago, where people, that was on Saturday, people of Gasa around that Barkiladi area went to mine. After they have completed the activity, they were about going home. Fulani went and attacked the mining site to dispossess the people of their tin. So in the process of exercise of self-defense, one of the attackers was killed. Now Mieti Allah, instead of condemning what its members went and did at the mining site, it has now gone to tell the world through its press release that a Fulani was killed by Birom. Is it militia or terrorists or what have you? But the world knows that Fulani are the terrorists. We are not saying all. There are good ones. But majority of them are the terrorists. Because it's not only happening on the plateau.
Let's walk back.
They have made Nigerians' life very, very unbearable.
Barrister, let's walk back a bit. Let's walk back a bit. Hold on.
Has happened in Zamfara. Anyway.
Hold on. Let's walk back a bit. Let's walk back a bit. You said something that I want to draw your attention to. You said Mieti Allah released a press statement that one of the persons were killed. Is that true or false? Where was a Fulani man killed?
Fulani man was killed because he went to rob people at the mining site.
All right, so that's agreed. Now, post that incident, has there been any formal conversation between the Mieti Allah and maybe the Biram Youths Molders Association or anybody
We had
within
said
local
it before
government?
now. Fulani is the Mieti Allah and what? In short, even the Mieti Allah chairman, he's living on the land that is grabbed. So he's among the land grabbers on the plateau. I'm saying it because I'm a native of Jol community. And Rankum, where the Mieti Allah chairman is living, is part of Jol community. It's one of the hamlets that it was called Rankum, that they went and renamed it after they displaced the native inhabitants. So Mieti Allah chairman is one of the land grabbers on the plateau.
Okay, that's a
And
heavy
by that
that's a
fact-
heavy
and by
allegation to
that
make.
fact,
Okay.
He should be arrested
All right.
and investigated.
All right, let me ask you the final set of questions before we start picking calls. In the last week because I remember seeing a video where somebody said about 21 persons have been killed. First question is, has there been any government presence? Now use the word government presence carefully here. Beyond just security operatives coming, has there been any government presence in Barkin Ladi during and post these attacks? Secondly, has there been any official conversation between the Mieti Allah and any official person from Barkin Ladi to have a conversation on why this is happening and how it can be stopped?
To respond to your last question, we have said it. Mieti Allah having posed itself as the mouthpiece of these bandits, aggressors, we have ceased to have any engagement with them. I have told the security that what distinguishes Mieti Allah on the plateau or the Fulani on the plateau with the Fulanis that are in other places, especially in the northwest, those bandits, is that the ones on the plateau don't attend security meetings with arms. So we cannot come and hold security meetings.
Are you accusing Mieti Allah of being part of this?
Because Mieti Allah has become the mouthpiece, coming to speak instead of it to look inwardly and verify whatever incident that will happen. Now, people have been killed on the plateau on daily basis. By who? By the Fulanis. And their cohort that they are brought in from the northeast. And in short, 3 days ago, they still brought another set or another gang of terrorists from part of Bauchi, from Gombe, from Nasarawa, and also Southern Kaduna into plateau, that they want to overrun the state and establish. And their ultimate goal is that after grabbing lands and after possibly taking over the whole state, they will be in charge of the political power.
This information is gotten
I'm
from
coming.
where? Gotten
They
from
will
where?
be in
Hold
charge
on,
of
hold on.
political
This information
power.
is gotten from where? From your imagination?
From intelligence.
Intelligence gathered by
From
who?
intelligence
Gathered by
that
who?
have been given an accredited, in short.
Gathered by
credibly
who?
given, Gathered by the locals and also some security agents.
Okay, please go on.
Yes. And the security agents, no security agent will ever deny this intelligence information. No security agents in the state.
All right, let me
Now,
get this clear.
But the whole thing here is that, they brought in to overrun the state. And after they take over the state, they will establish what is called radical Islamic regime. And what I mean by radical Islamic regime, I'm coming, is that is a regime that does not even accommodate nominal Muslims.
All right, this is a weighty allegation, Barrister.
That is why
These are
you see
weighty
in the northwest and
allegations.
the northeast, they have been attacking even the houses who are Muslims.
All right. The phone lines are open: 09055666699 or 08121877777. Like I like to say, let's talk is to have hard conversations. You might be uncomfortable with them, but they have to be hard. We'll pick 2 calls here, and let me say this: please be careful with your words. Do not let your emotions run high. Be careful with what you say and how you say them. Like my friend and brother Richard Badun would say, statements made by callers are not properties of J101.9 FM. Let's pick this call. Hello, good morning. Apologies there. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Emeka.
Good morning, sir. You have 60 seconds. Please go on.
This is Honorable Jude Staff from Joshua.
Jude, please go on.
Emeka, what I have to say this morning, our guest in the studio make a comment there that the Mieti Allah chairman, where he stays, the land, you grabbed it from the locals. So question that I want to ask, as I want you to clear me, as you know that he grabbed the land, why didn't they make effort through the government or relevant authority to make sure that they they send it out of that land. That as you know that, or they know that it belongs to the locals. You understand? Because the earlier the better, the earlier they do the needful, the better for the locals.
All right then.
And Plateau people. Good morning.
Thank you so much for calling, Jude. Let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Emeka and the guests in the house.
Good morning, sir. Your name and your location.
Isha Ali from jail.
Ishal from Gale. Please go on.
You see, as your guest had said, Fulani people are trying to play a mindset. If they want to attack, then the allegations they will start bringing. This thing happened here in jail. So it's not a new thing they are doing. But all what I want government to do is they should not be biased. They should do the right thing. Whosoever is fault, let that person face the wrath of the law. These militias that are being brought to the state, they are not from heaven. Some people must have been mastermind the bringing of them. So those people should be arrested.
Thank you so much, sir.
If the Fulanis are not aware of these people, where can't they fish them out and submit them to government? So they know everything about it. So
Thank you.
Let government do something.
Thank you for calling, Shai. Let's pick this final call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. You have 60 seconds, St. Benedict. Please go on.
This is St. Benedict calling in from Ferengada.
Please go on.
Well, Emeka Omesi and then Chelsea EJ and the guests. I want to say good morning. Happy new beginning. When I was growing up, but not even long ago, when Jonathan was still in power from 2015 downwards, we used to hear that there's nobody that have the monopoly of violence. But now I've seen that some people in this country, especially the Fulanese, since Buhari became
Let's be careful with our choice of words. Thank you.
Okay, wait now. Let us be honest.
Again, hold on, St. Benedict. There are rules that we cannot break, right? Please go on.
Okay, yes. I'm not trying to break any rules for JFM because that's the best registration I can even imagine on the plateau. I have seen that in this country, without mentioning anybody for security reasons, and for the cost of your ethics of your professions, there are people that have the monopoly of violence. In as much as your guests have stated here on the radio, saying that people have been seen carrying dangerous weapons in the presence of the security agencies. It is also even in social media everywhere where we see some people gather and then carry some heavy weapons of mass destruction, even in the presence of the security agencies, and no single arrest will be made. And if it is the issue, if the government is going to be sincere with the issue of security, Emeka, if it is the Yorubas cultural group, the Feniferes, that have been pinpointed all the time, killing people, this particular issue that has been dealt with and be settled. If it is the Ohanese Ndibu that has been talking about, coming to defend people that have been killing people, if it is the Igbos that have been carrying all these particular accusations pointing on them from different places and different tribes, I am telling you that this particular issue that has been made on the board so many years ago, there has been a history. But because certain people cannot be touched, certain people cannot be questioned, they cannot even be arrested, that is they will continue having this problem.
All
The
right,
good thing
thank you
about
so
this
much.
is this. I strongly believe that the day is going to come, which the end of this particular nonsense will come. Look at the allegation coming from the barrister that it is a plan of taking over.
All right, unfortunately, we can't go any further. We are very much out of time. I will let you respond to one of the comments. The person asks, like you said, you accused that Mieti Allah is staying on grabbed land. And has there been any conversation with the government as regards to that?
We have said it, even at security meetings. We've submitted that one to government committee that was set up to investigate and to gather data on the happenings in the state. All the Fulanis that are living in Rankum, that has been renamed as Mahanga, have taken over that place. But there was a local arrangement they had with the landowners that every year, before the crisis, every year they are to pay certain security.
Who? What specific
The
security?
Fulanis
Okay.
pay to the landowners. That is the few Fulanis that were accommodated there. No single land has ever been sold to any Fulani in Rankum.
Can you confirm
has now
this?
become notorious Manga which we always see it as number one terrorist enclave on the plateau. Not only on the plateau, in the Middle Belt, because it's from there that most of the attacks, not only on the plateau but within the Middle Belt, are coordinated.
All right.
And that last night, there were so many of these terrorists that were moving into Jol and Rim. I communicated the sector commander.
You are saying that you communicated with the commander of people moving into Riom and Rim in the last few days?
Yes, last night. They were moving to come and attack Jol and Rim.
Was there? No, hold on. When you say they are willing to come and attack, you can't say this substantively because you don't have any evidence that that's what they're coming to do.
That is their own regular and their modus operandi. You see them on bikes, and the next thing is attack.
All right.
Now, last night they attacked Bachi and killed 2 people. This morning, as we are talking, before stepping in to this place, they attacked a farmer in the farm this morning, just not up to an hour ago, and killed him at Inding Sisut. So this is a reality before us. It's not a case. It's not that we are framing up. No.
All right, then.
These are individuals that have come and they have come to kill.
All right, Barrister, let's go on to social media platforms. So hold on, please. I know you have a lot to say, but let's go on social media because we have less than 2 minutes to the end of the show. Abba Takaya Dagza quickly says, security is everyone's business, meaning ensuring a secure society is the responsibility of each and everyone. Government should do their part. The security personnel should do their part, and most of all, let direct victims and people allowed to do their part not get killed. Also here quickly, Mafia Cipra and Lucas says the repeated killings in Barkin-Ladi show that the crisis in Plateau states can no longer be treated as an occasional security challenge. Principal Joseph Pelemu goes, it is unfortunate that life has lost its value in this part of the world. In less than 1 minute, and Barrister, 1 minute, there has been accusations that Biram youths who have had access to locally made guns those guns have been taken away from them. Can you confirm this?
You see, it is a product of the failure of the system that people will have to resort to self-help for their survival, and it's constitutionally provided. So when people, you say, no right-thinking person will want to use his little resources to go and acquire arms.
So can you confirm?
The system has failed to guarantee the safety of individuals, and that is why you see people are resorting to that.
Can you confirm that these people their guns have been seized from them?
Of course. Even a night before yesterday, in Barkin-Ladi, a vigilante was dispossessed of his firearm that is used to defend by the military.
All right, these were already correct in this session of the show, which could go further, but like we always say, time slips up on you when you have any important conversation. Chelsea, your final words before we leave.
So everyone should learn to be their brother's keeper, especially in this situation. If you have any intelligence, warn your neighbors so that people are prepared when crises like this happen.
Like I always say, forgive your oppressors if you must, but do not forget what they've done to you. Instead of trouble, spread love and seek the truth. The news comes up by 9 a.m. Bye, people.
Playing non-stop hits. This is JFM 101.9.
Ojiyabba shakata wajen more kira da naira 100 ka talamu kudin ka sai MTN da kuna samun matsala wurin kira dan ba ku da kati to ko sauki ya samu in ka sa naira 100 zaka samu naira 400 a layin MTN domin shiga tsarin ku sa naira 100 sannan ku danna tauraru 889 hash za ku iya amfani da shi cikin kwana daya. Shakata da tsarin MTN G's Plus don more kira. Sharuɗa da ka'idoji sun shafi wannan.
Hey yeah, now Rabi, with Rabi, but it's strong, my mouth is fresh, he clean well, oh, now RLB. Strong teeth RLB, fresh bread RLB, 24/7 with RLB. Strong teeth RLB.
Give on our teeth 24 hours protection. Use Oral-B today. The Nigerian Dental Association. Tanda Gidigba with Oral-B.
Baby, shake your body.
The biggest talent showdown in the North is here. From a competition that started back in January, it all comes down to this moment. Have you made your entry? If not, hurry now. Visit genius.ng, submit your 1-minute video, and secure your spot with a 10,000 naira entry fee. This is your chance to shine. Over 5 million naira up for grabs. Win 1 million naira in each category. Dancers, singers, spoken word artists, models, actors. This is your stage, your moment, your rise. Join us for a powerful night celebrating a tech visionary, Jethro Mark Da'ar. It's a night of business milestones and official launch of a bold new movement, ADA, Arewa Dream Again. Expect live performances by artists such as Magneto, Classic, BOC,
So I'm all here to get it.
Rumor,
Only me, ni kaɗai na san abin da nake ji.
First Class, Nameng, from Fizzy and Bonnie, and to bring some humor live on stage, Sarkin Daria, and many others. 2 days, one experience. Get your tickets now at getwave.com. Regular 5,000 naira, VIP 25,000 naira, premium table for 500,000 naira, exclusive table 1 million naira. May 16, Genius Wave finale. Venue is Dr. Fish Event Center, Kwang Jos. Time 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. sharp. May 17, celebration and ADA launch. Venue is Tamarack Event Center. Time 2 p.m. red carpet. Main event 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. sharp. This event is brought to you by Genius Wave Studios in collaboration with Arewa Mafia Records and fully sponsored by C Brilliance, AI Techs, A Fresh Center, A Fresh Academy, Pop Suite, and JustCity.com. J-Town, the stage is set. Brace up.
What do you want be like marshmallow? What's it like marshmallow?
Ah, I found something inside my Nescafe Original 3-in-1 pack the other day. A unique code printed inside.
Yes, so every pack of Nescafe Original 3-in-1 now comes with a code inside in the Nescafe Next Level promo. Just text the code to *7022# and you could win 500,000 naira cash, business tools, and training. Up to 1 million naira in prizes to be won. Promo runs until June 30th, 2026. T's and C's apply. Nescafe. Make your world.
For you, every day is day one. Day one for you to give 100. 100 on the tracks, on the road, at work. Because it's your job to give your all. 100 with the gang and on the dance floor. Truth is, you are not wired to give less. Your future is now. So live it real, loud, full, and free. You live it 100. MTN.
Chai, my head oh. Oga landlord, why you dey shake like ceiling fan? Eh? My village people don't come again oh. This one with your body hot so, you don't do test? Yes, see result oh. Oga landlord, no be your village people oh. Na malaria, you need Luta. Luta na better medicine wey dey knock down malaria. Oya see am, take am. Hey, thank you Oga Luta. I don't dey kampe. Luta, brand of Artemeta and Lumefantrine, is another quality product from Hovid, marketed by Pharmatex Nigeria Limited. If symptoms persist after 3 days, see your doctor.
Everybody say thanks, Luta. Malaria's in big trouble.
Let me be singing when the evening.
May the Lord This is bless. JFM 101.9.
JFM News is the confluence of all sides of the news stories.
A great morning it is. Good morning, Plateau.
Good afternoon to you. Good evening. Welcome to the news update
You're
at 4.
listening to J11.9 FM.
Deeply detailed beyond just the surface structure.
Dati Baba Ahmed denies declaring presidential.
And also urges government to review wages and tax Governor Mutfwang, Professor Yilwada launch e-registration.
Durham youths accuse Macbad of complicity in latest attacks.
Fearless reportage.
I've never been involved in any fraudulent activity. With your support, we are going to get there.
Daring and going where others dread.
We will pursue the cause of plan. It's been long
Give them their money directly. So if you want,
I'm hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action.
JFM News. Swift, legitimate, and faultless.
11th day of May. First to top stories. President Tinubu arrives Kenya for African-France summit. Military denies civilian deaths in Niger airstrikes. Jam to set 2026 UTME Quarter Max today. Today's news commentaries on the Supreme Court ruling resolving PDP leadership conflict as a clear path for restoring internal order and stability. I am Bisola Olatunji with the details of these and other stories. Stay tuned.
Live from Jos Nigeria, this is the news.
Taking the lead with a story, President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Nairobi, Kenya, ahead of the African-France summit scheduled to open today. Tinubu's visit to Kenya, the second since July 2023, marks the second leg of a three-nation tour that began with a stop in France, where he had earlier met with global investors and pledged Nigeria's commitment to fiscal discipline and economic reform. The African-France summit, co-chaired by French President Emmanuel Macron and Kenyan President William Ruto, run from May the 11th to May 12th. The presidency says Tinubu's participation will underscore Nigeria's commitment to strengthening strategic partnerships with African nations and France. On security, the Defense Headquarters has denied reports alleging that civilians were killed during recent airstrikes carried out by the Nigerian military in Shiroro local government area of Niger State. According to a statement released by the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Michael Onoja, the operation was conducted following an intelligence report indicating the convergence of armed bandits at Lakupe village in Shiroro local government area on May the 9th, 2026. The military said the Nigerian Army UAV Command subsequently carried out multiple air interdiction strikes between 11:59 p.m. on May the 10th and 6 a.m. across suspected bandit hideout in Katema, Boko, Kasusu, and Kuduru villages. Onoja stated that local intelligence sources confirmed that the aerial bombardment were precise and target. Reacting to report claiming civilians were killed during the operation, Onoja maintained that the strikes were based on credible and actionable intelligence, confirming the presence of terrorists at the targeted locations. He, however, said relevant formations had been directed to verify allegations of civilian casualties, if any. Similarly, human rights group Amnesty International has called on Nigerian authorities to launch an independent investigation into the deaths of 6 civilians reportedly killed during a military airstrike in Niger State. In a statement issued today, the organization condemned the incident which reportedly occurred in the early hours of Sunday in Shiroro local government area. According to the organization, the airstrike allegedly hit a residential area around 5 a.m. during military operations targeting armed groups operating in the area. Amnesty International expressed concern over what it describes as the recurring loss of civilian lives during military air operations, warning that such incidents raise questions about Nigeria's compliance with international human rights and humanitarian law. The organization stressed the need for authorities to adhere to the principles of distinction and precaution during security operations. Away from that to the education sector, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board JAMB has announced that it will hold its 2026 policy meeting today, where key decisions on admissions into tertiary institutions across Nigeria will be considered. In a statement issued by its public communications advisor, Fabian Benjamin, the board said the meeting will be chaired by the Minister of Education and will bring together stakeholders across the education sector. According to the statement, the session will also review and adopt admission benchmarks which traditionally guide entry requirement into universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education. The statement added that the annual policy meeting remains a critical platform where admission procedures and standards are harmonized among heads of tertiary institutions and relevant stakeholders in the education sector. In entertainment, Nigerian record producer and music executive Don Jazzy has showered praises on singer Johnny Drill, describing him as the best and most complete musician he knows in the Nigerian music industry. Speaking during a recent podcast, the Maven Records boss stated that Johnny Drill stands out because of his versatility, creativity, and unique sound. According to Don Jazzy, there is currently no artist in the Nigerian music scene who sounds or operates like Johnny Drill, noting that the singer exists in a world of his own. On the sport, Team Nigeria will depart for Ghana today ahead of the 2026 African Senior Athletics Championships in Accra, with a 41-athlete contingent set to represent the country at a 6-day competition beginning tomorrow. According to the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, the delegation will travel through the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos for the championships scheduled to run from May 12 to 17, while a number of the foreign-based athletes have already arrived directly in Accra. Nigeria's contingent comprises 17 male and 24 female athletes who will compete across 26 track and field events at a continental showpiece. The team will be led by AFN President Tonobok Okowa, while 10 technical officials are also expected to accompany the athlete. On the foreign scene, the occupant of a cruise ship struck by a deadly antivirus outbreak that has sparked international concern have begun leaving the vessel in Spain's Canary Island. According to the health minister, passengers will be divided into groups by nationality and ferried to the coast in small boats. Charter planes will be on the tarmac at the local airport, ready to repatriate them to their home countries. 14 Spanish nationals will be the first to disembark, followed by those flown out by the Netherlands, including Dutch, Greek, and German passengers, as well as part of the crew. Currently, no vaccines or specific treatment exists for antivirus, which is endemic in Argentina, where the ship departed in April. Over now to today's news commentary. It is on the Supreme Court ruling resolving PDP leadership conflict as a clear path for restoring internal order and stability. It is written by our News and Current Affairs Department and read by Lisa Langs Onazi.
The long-running controversy over the leadership of the People's Democratic Party at the national level appears to have reached a turning point with a recent Supreme Court judgment, widely seen as affirming the legitimacy of the leadership structure under Kabiru Tanimu Turaki. A certified true copy, CTC, of the judgment of the Apex Court on the leadership tussle has revealed how the faction loyal to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, lost out in the battle for the party's soul. According to the CTC cited by JFM, the Apex Court unanimously dismissed the cross appeal brought by Wike alongside the main appeal by the Tanimu Turaki-led leadership of the PDP. However, the ruling has been hailed by party stakeholders as a step toward restoring internal order, discipline, and a clear chain of command ahead of the next political cycle. For months, the PDP grappled with competing claims to authority that left structures fractured at both national and state levels. The legal battle culminated in the Supreme Court's decision, which party loyalists say has settled the matter in favor of due process and constitutionalism within the party. Legal analysts note that the judgment reinforces the principle that party affairs must be resolved within the framework of the party's constitution and the law. For Turaki, a senior lawyer and long-standing party stalwart, the outcome is being described by supporters as a vindication of his insistence on due process and constitutional integrity. In Plateau State, the implications were immediate. Former Governor Jonah David Jang, recognized as the leader of the PDP in the state, has moved to align the state chapter fully with the Turaki-led leadership. Jang, who has maintained significant influence in Plateau politics since leaving office, said the priority now is to close ranks and rebuild the party at the grassroots. Party members in Plateau State say the alignment is significant because it removes a key source of uncertainty in the North Central zone. Plateau has historically been a PDP stronghold, and a unified structure under clear leadership is expected to strengthen the party's position ahead of upcoming congresses and elections. Supporters of Turaki argue that his approach, emphasizing legal clarity, consultation, and inclusivity, offers the PDP a chance to reset its internal culture. They point to his background as Attorney General and his years in party leadership as evidence of his capacity to stabilize the organization and rebuild trust among members. The coming weeks are expected to see a series of reconciliation and harmonization meeting across Plateau, with the state executive led by Chief Raymond Dabo working under the framework endorsed by the national leadership. For many in the party, the hope is that the judgment marks the end of a distracting leadership tussle and the beginning of a more focused effort to reconnect with voters. As one veteran PDP organizer put it, courts can settle who leads, but only unity and service will decide whether the people follow. With Jang and Turaki on the same page, Plateau PDP now has that chance.
That is the news commentary on the Supreme Court ruling resolving PDP leadership conflict as a clear path for restoring internal order and stability, is written by our News and Current Affairs Department. Now the recap of our top stories. You first heard that President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Nairobi, Kenya, ahead of the Africa-France Summit scheduled to open today. The Defense Headquarters has denied reports alleging that civilians were killed during recent airstrikes carried out by the Nigerian military in Shiroro local government area of Niger State. Finally, JAMB has announced that it will hold its 2026 policy meeting today, where key decisions on admissions into tertiary institutions across Nigeria will be considered. Our quote of the day says, "The chief purpose of the government is to protect life. Abandon that and you have abandoned all." Thomas Jefferson had that to say. Have you prayed for Plateau today? Well, remember to act right, act responsibly. Pray for the peace of Nigeria and Israel today. For more news, sport and entertainment stories on the go, log on to www.facebook.com/JFMJoss and on x.com @JFMJoss. For news of happenings around you, do call the JFM Newsline on 0904 377 7644. The news was edited by Gilbert Joseph and produced by Femi Daniels. I am Bisola Olatunji. Good morning.
Leaders will go back home and summon the leadership meeting. Pretend that I'm there or pretend that I'm absent because you are still going to give me a feedback. You are going to work as a one group committee. Thank God all the previous governors, former governors are alive and you are here. Thank you for the respect. And call one another. Ignore the governors committee if you have to, or you incorporate them. Take that white paper or the gazette that you have. Go through it among yourselves and agree to implement those white papers. Any naughty issue, bring it back. Now, to the legislators who are here, we are going to work together to establish state police. Okay.
Maturity is not proven a point. It is what defines us. JFM, mature station for the matured minds.
This soup will be sweet with hot ebow.
John, you're here again?
Yes, my sister. Once Royco seasoning cube enter pot like this, forget it. The aroma must call my name. Now you know now.
Don't you ever get tired of food?
Tired? Never! My mother said I should always be where good food is. So, if I smell good food, just know I'll be there.
John, I've never seen anyone like you.
Grace, is there more soup? I beg you, give me another plate.
Another food is calling your name, Abby.
Mommy Grace, I'm coming, no. I'm going home.
Home is wherever good food is. Bring home to every dish with the newly improved Royco seasoning cubes. Now available in stores near you. Royco, good food is home.
Chai, my head oh. Oga landlord, why you dey shake like ceiling fan? My village people don't come again oh. This one with your body hot so, you don't do test? Yes, see result oh. Oga landlord, no be your village people oh. Na malaria, you need Luta. Luta na better medicine wey dey knack down malaria. Oya see am, take am. Thank you Oga Luta. I don't dey kampe. Luta, brand of Artemeta and Lumefantrine, is another quality product from Hovid, marketed by Pharmatex Nigeria Limited. If symptoms persist after 3 days, see your doctor.
Everybody say thanks, Luta. Malaria's in big trouble.
My first Hausa-in-law visit, I nearly called 911 after one crush of Mr. Chef Cubes. And my me and cookers spoke fluently. Even the grumpy Auntie Amina asked for takeaway.
Savor the taste of culture with a 2-finger crush of Mr. Chef beef, dawa dawa, and mixed spices seasoning cubes. Mr. Chef, taste home, taste culture.
Chef of life.